and grab a PVC pipe and then spread out across the floor where you can see me. I know you all are super fresh right now, so this is going to be a really fun session for me to watch. Have a little pep in your step too, because I'm super fired up. I just drank some caffeine. All right, go ahead, spread out for me, and then place the PVC pipes down on the right side of your body. How is everybody doing? Good. My name is Sage Burgener. I'm going to be taking you guys through some Olympic weightlifting instruction. So we're going to go over kind of just a few fundamentals of things that I tend to see go wrong universally, specifically with CrossFitters. So we're going to talk about our feet and how important they are and where they should be. We're going to talk about your grip and your positioning of your hands. And then we're going to talk about your overhead positioning of that barbell in the snatch. Then we're going to go over the Burgener warm-up just very briefly, and then we're going to get into a workout of the day that is pretty typical style programming for what I do in Mayhem Burgener Strength. Raise your hand if you follow Mayhem Burgener Strength. Okay, you guys can stay. Everybody else, go ahead and leave. If you notice, Sam raised his hand, and he's pretty good at CrossFit, so I think if he's doing it, you probably should be too, okay? All right, so let's talk about feet. How many of you guys think about your feet when you're snatching? Raise your hand. Okay, good, good. There's so much that we have to think about in the Olympic lifts that generally the feet get forgotten about, when they're actually the most important part of the whole entire lift. Whenever my form is going out the window, or I'm overthinking, or my lifts just aren't there for that day, I narrow down my thinking and my focus to just my feet. How they feel against the ground, how they're moving, where my weight distribution is. When I tune into my feet, my movement as a whole instantly improves. Okay, so if you don't think about your feet, I want you to start. First and foremost, where do your feet start in the Olympic lifts? Not when you're barbell cycling, but when you're going for a heavy single for the day, where do your feet start? They start right underneath your hips. Good. You want to start with your feet in a position where you feel like you can jump hard against the ground. It's not necessarily just about a comfortable position down in your start. It's about where can you generate the most force against the ground. And generally that's with your feet right underneath your hips. So just do like a couple of jumps for me. And feel that position. Do you feel like if you had 200 plus pounds in your hand, do you feel like you could jump hard from this position? Verbal yeses or nos? Okay, good. Whether your toes kind of turn out or straight ahead, I don't really care. I just don't want to see anything that looks weird, right? You want to look like a normal person whenever you're setting up in any position in the Olympic lift. You want to look cool. That's what we want to do. We want to look cool. You don't want to set up in any weird position, okay? So all those look pretty good. Now, where do your feet go to? Raise your hand if you think your feet should move in the Olympic lifts. Everyone's like, okay. Everyone else is raising their hand, so I guess I will too. Yes, your feet should move in the Olympic lifts. If your feet move, that tells me that you are jumping, which tells me that you understand the sport of Olympic weightlifting. You jump the barbell over your head. You do not bang the bar off of your hips to get it up over your head. We jump against the ground, and the act of jumping is what elevates the bar with speed and momentum. Guess what? The harder I jump, the faster the bar is going to move. the lighter the weight is going to feel, the higher that bar is going to travel. If I kind of just jump like this, how fast is that bar going to move? If I just drive my hips into the bar and come back down, what direction is the bar going to go? Yes. What direction do I want the bar to go? Yes. So for every action, there's an equal to or opposite reaction. So if I drive hard down, the bar is going to move fast up. Okay? So when we jump, we have to land in a position where we feel strong, and we tend to feel strong where we feel confident. And we tend to feel confident where we put our feet often. Meaning, where do you squat? Where are your feet when you overhead squat, when you back squat, when you front squat, when you air squat? The good thing about CrossFitters is that we squat a shit ton, right? So you guys should be very familiar with where your feet are in a squat. Show me where your feet are in a front squat, back squat, overhead squat, thruster. They should all be the same. Because if they're the same, you're going to be super strong here. And you're going to feel confident here, which will make you willing to pull yourself down and around the bar underneath the heavy snatch and underneath the heavy clean. If you throw your feet out to here, which I see a lot of people do, how confident are they going to be pulling themselves underneath a heavy weight? They're like, I never hang out here. I never spend time here. So no wonder my body doesn't want to get underneath the bar. But if I'm diligent about putting my feet, landing my feet in a position that I feel strong, your confidence will increase moving underneath heavy weight. Does that make sense? Okay, so put your feet in your squat position and go down into the deepest, prettiest squat that you can do. Deepest, prettiest squat that you can do. And feel balanced on your feet. I don't want you sitting out on the outside of your feet. I want you to keep that big toe on the ground. I don't want your ankles collapsing in. I want you to have strong ankles, and I want you to drive your chest up as vertical as you can. This is a position that you should have to fight for unless you're a Chinese world champion. Fighting for this position is a good thing. That will make you more aggressive and intentional during your snatch and your clean. And stand. Good job, guys. They were just suffering in silence, but they all felt the same, Sam. Don't worry. Okay, walk your feet back into your jumping position or your start position. This is going to be the same for your snatch, for your clean, for your jerk. We want consistency, because if your footwork is consistent, guess what? The rest of your lifts has a way greater chance of being consistent. If your feet are all over the place and starting in different positions, it's going to be really hard to find that consistency during your actual lift. And walk your feet out into your squat stance. And squat and hold. Deep, deep squat. Good. Fight for that position. You have heavy weight overhead. And stand. Beautiful. Already better. And walk your feet back in. Now let's practice jumping and landing. The same way that we would want to jump and land in a snatch and in a clean. I want you guys jumping hard against the ground, jumping fast, not jumping high. Okay, the ground is our friend. It's our power source, and then it's our source of stability. So we want to use it to generate power, and then we want to use it to create stability. So I want to see you guys jump and land in your squat stance, and I want to see really fast, clean, crisp feet. Because if my feet move, boom, like that, my snatch is going to be boom, really fast and aggressive. Oops, sorry. Is this messing up? Okay. I don't want to see lazy, slow, soft footwork. Okay? All right, ready? Stand by. Move your feet in just a little bit for me. Just land in like a quarter squat. Thank you. And land. Squat. Did you land in the right position? If not, make corrections. And stand. Walk your feet back in. Make sure it's the same. Stand by. Land. Squat. Good. Strong ankles, okay? Don't let that right ankle collapse. Yes. Stand. One more. Careful of your feet going too wide, okay? I know you got long legs. Ready? Move your feet out just a little bit for me. And land. Squat. Stand. Beautiful. Do I have any questions on footwork or foot positioning? Okay, if you're someone who throws your feet out too wide when you start power snatching or when the weight starts getting heavier, don't underestimate the value of just doing jump and lands. Okay, if you can develop that muscle memory through repetition, it's going to have a way greater chance of transferring over when you actually start snatching and cleaning. Okay? All right, next, go ahead and pick up those PVC pipes. We're going to talk about our grip. First and foremost, anytime you're pulling that bar from the ground, whether you're snatching or cleaning, you must use a hook grip. Hook grip is with your thumbs wrapped around the bar, fingers wrapped around the thumb. Raise your hand if you do not use a hook grip. Are you kidding me? After all of these years in CrossFit, are you just being stubborn now? I do appreciate your honesty. Thank you for sharing that. But please start hook gripping. There's this one YouTube video where my dad tells somebody that he refuses to coach him unless he hook grips. And he started hook gripping. Because who wouldn't want to be coached by Coach B, right? I'm going to bring him here, and you're going to come, and you better be hook gripping, okay? All right, next, let's talk about grip width. Most of the time, I see people grabbing too wide for their snatch grips. And their reason is that they want a fast turnover, and also it's more comfortable on their shoulders. The problem is that people start complaining about their wrists and elbows hurting. So if I have wrist pain and I have elbow pain, how confident am I going to be pulling myself down underneath a heavy weight in the snatch? You're not going to be confident. So I would rather you sacrifice a little bit of comfort for confidence and feeling stable overhead. We want to protect our wrists and our elbows. That stability is going to create confidence in us. Okay, so it's all about angles. We want to make sure that I'm not so wide that I have that torque on my wrist, right? A slightly narrower grip can make the world of a difference for wrist health and elbow health. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever injured your wrist. It's a horrible injury to have. It takes forever to heal. So protect those bad boys. They're very important in the Olympic lifts. So we want generally about 8 to 12 inches from the top of our head to the barbell. In other words, I just don't want it to look excessive in any direction. I don't want it to look super wide, and I don't want it to look super narrow. That's generally why we use what's called the eyeball method. It's not very formal of a method, okay? It's just, how does that grip width look for your anatomical makeup? Are you someone who's taller with longer arms? You're probably going to have a little bit wider grip. Are you someone who's shorter with shorter arms? You're probably going to have a slightly narrower grip. So pay attention to your build and your history with a barbell, and then plan your grip width accordingly. So I want all of you guys to put your hands in your snatch grip. So already I know that you need to move your hands out a little bit just because of how tall you are, okay? Even more. There you go. And bars up over your head. Ooh, nice. And think about having 200 plus pounds on this bar. How will your wrists feel? Will they feel supported and strong? Or will they feel like they're going to snap? So move your grip in for me. There you go, much better. Move your grip in for me a little bit. There you go, yep. Let's slide in just a little bit. Yes. In just a little for me. Good, good. Okay, keep your hands there. You can maybe move out just a little, right there. And then bring your hands down and pay attention to where your hands are in relation to those little grooves in the bar. That's where you're gonna set your hands every time you snatch, overhead squat, snatch balance, snatch push press, any snatch related movement, this is where your hands go. The only exception to that, in my opinion, if you have the mobility, sometimes in CrossFit workouts, if there's high volume overhead squats, I will move my hands in just a little bit for that workout, just because I feel like I can have a little bit more shoulder stability with a narrower grip. But if you don't have the mobility for it, don't do that, okay? Next, let's talk about the biggest mistake that I see in CrossFitters in Olympic weightlifting, the overhead positioning, okay? When you have that barbell up over your head, I want to see your armpits facing straight ahead and the crease of your elbow facing the ceiling. Okay, I want to see that bar stacked above your hips, and I want to see the palms slightly turned up so that that bar is in the meaty part of your hands. From there, I want to see you bending that bar. This position is called external rotation with internal torque, which is just a really fancy way of saying set your shoulders in a neutral position and then turn on all of the surrounding muscle groups of the shoulder to support the shoulder. Most of the time what I see is people start turning. They start internally rotating, specifically as they descend down in their squat. And then when they internally rotate, because that makes the bar want to come forward, they then pull the bar back to counterbalance. And this is what I'm dealing with in an overhead squat. What is going to get messed up in that position? Shoulders. All of that shoulder is carrying that weight overhead. So think about how you would support something with one arm over your head. Where would your shoulder be? Where would your arm be? Right? Where's my armpit? Facing straight ahead. Where's the crease of my elbow? Facing my head. Okay, now slide your hand out. There's your snatch grip positioning. But we end up being here. If I move my hand in, this is how I would be supporting something with one hand over my head. Okay, just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean we get to start rotating our shoulders in that wider grip. So let's put those bars up over our head.
Why does that happen so?
It's because of tightness in our thoracic spine and in our pecs. What generally happens is we get pulled forward and then our back, upper back being tight, shoots us out of that positioning. But people surrender to that. They're like, up, can't hold it, and then they just descend down into their overhead squat instead of fighting for that positioning. It's not going to be comfortable. And if I see you rotate a little bit, I'm okay with that as long as I know you're at least fighting for the right position and not just letting it happen, okay? Because it's not easy to maintain that position at all. Okay, so bars up over your head, show me your armpits, crease of the elbow to the ceiling, break the bar, palms slightly up, and bar stacked overhead. Don't pull it too far back. Okay, move your feet out into your squat stance. Palms up. There you go. And then slowly, maintaining this position, I want you to descend down into your overhead squat. You should feel, eyes straight ahead, you should feel this in your mid to upper back. If you don't, you've probably turned. Okay, so show me the armpits. Crease of the elbow to the ceiling. And stand. Good, and shake it out. Let's try it again. Bars up overhead. Show me the armpits. Crease of the elbow to the ceiling. Slowly descend down into your overhead squat. Armpits, armpits, armpits. Widen your stance a little bit for me. Try to keep those heels on the ground, okay? Armpits, break the bar. I didn't tell you to stand yet. And stand. Oh, come on. You can move your grip out a little bit. You guys are tough. I know you're tough. Just so you know, it's harder to do with the PVC pipe than it is to do with a little bit of weight in your hand. So does that mean that you shouldn't be able to do that with a PVC pipe? No. You're still going to practice with the PVC pipe, but it is a little bit easier with some resistance. Okay, so let that give you hope, bring you hope in this holiday season. Okay, do I have any questions on my grip width or my overhead positioning? Yeah?
What are some like drills or accessory work that you can work with athletes on to work on like externally rotate? Is it more accessory work or just practice with lighter load?
So very good question, and everybody hates the answer. You get better at the overhead squat by overhead squatting, specifically with the PVC pipe. Okay, so because these flex, we get to really work on that bending of the bar, so you can get so much mobility work done doing tempo overhead squats with this PVC pipe. We also really like SOTS presses here, bringing that bar down and back up again. That also really works that mobility as well, okay? And one other way, guys, that you can feel proper external rotation, bring this bar in front, flip your hands around, and then put that bar over your head. That's proper positioning, okay? All you have to do from here is rotate your hands around and bend the bar. So much better, all of you already. Because you can't internally rotate really in this position. So you're gonna feel where your shoulders are supposed to be and then I create that internal torque. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, let's do the Burgener warm-up. Oh, yeah, sorry.
So I'm not shrugging the bar up. I'm pulling my arms out.
Okay, so good question. Neither. Okay? You never, ever, ever want to shrug your shoulders up. Because what does that do to them? It pulls them forward, right? So I like thinking about reaching up into the bar with my hands, but I'm not just raising my shoulders, okay? And when I say break the bar, I don't mean pull the bar apart. I mean try to make a rainbow with that bar. So you're kind of like pulling down with your pinkies as you're doing it, okay? Good questions. Because the raising the shoulders up is a very common cue that we tend to hear that is completely wrong. If your shoulders rise as a result of you reaching up through the lats into that bar, I'm okay with that. But I don't want to see just my shoulders raising up. Okay? Yeah?
I was always taught to constantly press up. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. Because that...
Punch when you're going to catch a snatch.
Oh, don't catch a snatch.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't ever catch a snatch, and don't ever say catch in front of my dad. He will beat you with a PVC pipe. Okay, even if you sign a waiver, he will do it. Okay, so yes, I like thinking about pressing and pushing up against that bar just because I feel like that makes someone way more intentional with their overhead movement. If someone catches the bar, that kind of suggests absorption, right? And that's a very passive overhead position. But if I receive a punch or receive a punch, yes, that's going to make you way more intentional and strong in that overhead positioning, right? So what's the best cue? The one that works, right? So if pressing up, punching up is making you kind of nice and strong in that overhead position, I love that cue, okay? All right, let's go into the Burgener warm-up. Raise your hand if you've ever done the Burgener warm-up. Okay. What's that?
You said ever or never?
Ever. If it's never, then you need to leave. You do it all the time. Raise your hand if you do the Burgener warm-up every day. Really? Do you really? I love that. You're my favorite. You guys are my favorites. Yep. Oh, hi. Okay, you're going to do the Burgener warm-up every single day for the rest of your life. Promise? The Burgener warm-up being done every single day is a free way to increase your snatch, to improve your snatch. And it seems really boring and really tedious and really pointless, and I can promise you it is not. Every time I do the Burgener warm-up, I feel something different. There's one cue or one sensation that I pick up on that maybe I wasn't really tuned into before. It works. It was developed for a reason, and we have basically based our methodology off of it for the past 50 years. If you do it every day, I promise you your snatch will improve, especially as CrossFitters, because do you get to snatch every day as a CrossFitter? No, you have way too many other things that you have to work on. But you can at least work your snatch with the PVC pipe in the Burgener warm-up. That way, when you go to snatch for the first time in a week, your body knows what to do. It's not like, wait, what's a snatch again? How do I do that? No, you've broken it down into pieces and you've drilled those pieces every day. So let's go ahead and do it. Feet in the jumping position, snatch grip, hook grip. How do we get that bar over our head? We jump. So the first movement of the Burgener warm-up is jumping properly with a bar in your hand. Jump with a bar, right? Jumping with a bar is loading with your chest nice and vertical, with the bar in your hip crease and with your legs loaded. And then I jump and I raise my shoulders. And when I jump, I'm just coming off the ground a little bit. And that motion creates speed through the middle. So I'm going to say ready, down, and finish. And you're going to jump and shrug, and you're going to say speed through the middle. Loud, because that's why you're doing that movement. And if you understand why you're doing a movement, that means you'll have a way greater chance of doing it right. Okay, so you're not going to jump like this. You're going to jump to finish with a nice proud chest at the top. You're going to look cool, you're going to look strong as you're doing it. And what are you going to call out?
Speed through the middle.
Good. Stand by. You have your hook grip, right? Thumb around the bar, fingers around the thumb. Thumb around the bar, fingers around the thumb. Yes. There you go. Wow. You're going to be so strong now. Okay, ready? And down and finish. Good. No arms yet. Okay, we're just jumping and shrugging. Stand by. Down. Always start standing. Don't start here. It's a dynamic movement. And down and finish. Down and finish. Good. Down and finish. 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 And down and finish. If you are hip thrusting, if you are swinging the bar, if you are overthinking, if you feel like you don't know what you're doing, take it back to this. Jump and shrug. Jump and shrug. That is all you're doing. And you're not doing this, right? You're going to be athletic. You're just jumping and shrugging with the weight. Okay? That creates speed through the middle. Next, we're going to jump and shrug, and then we're going to allow our elbows to come high and outside to help us keep that bar as close to our body as possible. Keeping that bar close ensures that the bar is going to get from the ground to overhead as efficiently as possible and as quick as possible. The farther away that bar gets from our body, the less control we have over it and the less efficient our movement is. So it's going to look like this. Bar close. I jump and shrug. At the end of my jump and shrug, I crank those elbows high and outside, making sure to keep a nice proud chest. I'm not here. I'm not like this. Okay, proud chest. Bar close. Bar close, like so. Stand by. Always start standing. Down and finish. Louder. Down and finish. Good. Don't let yourself come forward. It's just a small dip. Bar stays in your hip crease. Down and finish. Down and finish. Good. Don't let your wrists come higher than your elbows. Where does that put the bar? Elbows higher than the wrists, wrists higher than the bar. And down and finish. Down and finish. Try not to let the hips go back. Load the legs. Load to explode. Down and finish. Down and finish. Try not to let the bar get caught in that hip crease and then have your arms bend. Okay? The bar can slide down about a ½ inch or so, but you can't get it trapped and bend your arms. You're not Rich Froning, so you don't get to bend your arms on the snatch. Okay? He is the only person we allow to do that. Ready? Down and finish. Or Sam. Sam does it a little bit. We let him. And down and finish. Good. Okay, next we're going to do the muscle snatch. I love muscle snatches because they really emphasize proper bar path, but they also teach us how to turn the bar over properly. When you turn the bar over on a snatch, it's a turnover punch. The very last thing you do before you get to the bottom is punch your hips down into your overhead squat. You do not pull. Okay, people think this really aggressive turnover and then they pull the bar back and they throw their chest forward. And this is where they're trying to receive the bar. If I want to receive it in that externally rotated position, I have to turn over and punch into my overhead position. So the muscle snatch helps us have a strong turnover. In slow motion, it looks like this. We do step 1, down and finish. Step 2, elbows high. Step 3, turn the bar over and punch. No rebending of your knees. Once your legs extend, they stay extended. So it's strong turnover. Strong turnover. I do my down and finish, I do my elbows high and outside, and I turn over punch into my overhead position. Okay, stand by. And down and finish. Strong turnover. Reset. No rebending the knees. Let me hear you say strong turnover. Stand by. Down and finish. Keep it up there because I want to make sure those overhead positions are dialed. Palms up just a little for me. Reset. Don't rebend your knees or everybody has to do burpees. Down and finish. Oh, look, no one rebent their knees. Reset. Say it louder, guys. Stand by, down and finish. Oh, no. You rebent your knees. Don't do that again. Okay, reset. Down and finish. Yes. Reset, one more. Down and finish. Yes, very good. Okay, keep the bars overhead. Next movement is snatch lands where we get to practice footwork. So bar stays over your head. You're going to stay in that really good externally rotated internal torque position and you're going to land a little bit lower every rep. So we're going to go footwork and land in a 2-inch squat. Then you'll reset and you'll go footwork and land in a 4-inch squat. And then you'll go a little bit lower for 6 repetitions. Okay, bars up. Stand by. We're going to go 2 inches first. Land. Make sure your feet move where you want them to. Stand and reset. We're going to 4 inches now. Land. Good. Stand, reset. I see some of you starting to do this with your wrist. Palms up. We're going to parallel now. Ready? Land. Stand. Listen to your feet. I didn't tell you to bring the bars down. Do they sound like somebody who snatches fast? Some of you, yes. Some of you, no. We're going all the way down now. Sound like you snatch fast. Ready? Go! Much better. Stand. 2 more all the way down. Land. Stand. 1 more. Land. Stand. Beautiful. And shake it out. Very good, you guys. So that was with the PVC pipe. Are you warm and tired? So is that a pretty good warm-up regardless of what you're doing for that day? It's a very productive one because not only are you getting warmed up, but you're getting the repetitions in of good form. Okay? So now let's bring it all together with a high hang snatch. So everything you just did in the Burgener warm-up, we're gonna bring it all together in one movement. You're gonna do a high hang snatch and you're gonna land in your overhead squat. So a high hang snatch, land in your overhead squat. We're doing our down and finish. We're cranking those elbows high. We're turning over and we're punching down with good footwork. Stand by. And snatch. Nice. Stand. Slide your hands out a little bit for me, no hook grip. Yep. And then hook grip, thank you. Ready? And snatch. Good. Don't forget to finish. Stand. Just because it's light doesn't mean that you don't get to finish. We have to teach our body how to hit those positions regardless of how much or how little weight is on the bar. Stand by and snatch. Stand. One more. And snatch. And stand. Beautiful. Okay, before we start the workout, there's one more thing I want to teach you guys. And that is the most important position when you're pulling off the ground. I would say 9 out of 10 athletes jump too soon in the snatch and in the clean because the bar feels heavy off the ground and they're thinking about getting underneath that bar. So as soon as that bar passes the knee, it feels like it's been 7 hours, and so they want to jump and they want to get underneath the weight. And so they jump too soon. And that is when either they don't make hip contact, or they hip thrust to compensate, or they swing the barbell out in front of them, or they pull with their arms too soon. Jumping too soon literally destroys everything. Waiting until mid-thigh to jump can fix so many of your problems. Who bends their arms too soon? You probably don't wait till mid-thigh. Who doesn't make contact with their hips? You probably don't wait till mid-thigh. Who lands forward in their snatch? You probably don't wait till mid-thigh. It literally fixes everything. So I want to show you guys the proper mid-thigh position. First, let's get to above our knees. Okay, so when we're right above our knees, what should our body look like? Your feet should be in your jumping position. Your hips should be up, and your shoulders should be in front of the bar. You should feel tension in your hamstrings, but balance through your feet. So I don't want to see you here. Drop your hips and bend your knees. I don't have any tension in my hamstrings. Lock your legs out. I don't want you here. Sit back on your heels. I don't want you here. I want balance and unlocking of the knees, lats engaged, and tension in my hamstrings. Beautiful. You should feel like you're almost falling over, but the balance on your feet makes it so you don't. Here's my above the knee position. From here to get to mid-thigh, all I'm going to do is keep my hinge and let the bar slide up to mid-thigh. Not all the way up here, just to mid-thigh. Keep your big toe on the ground. Keep your big toe on the ground. And stand. Once you get to mid-thigh, what is the one word you should tell yourself to do? Jump. As hard as you frickin' can. Okay? So it's going to look like this. Above the knee, mid-thigh. It's not above the knee and start scooping. I'm maintaining that hinge and that balance for 1 more second. And then from here, I can jump to finish and punch down into my overhead squat. Okay, so above the knee. Keep your big toe on the ground here. That is so crucial. So above the knee, above the knee. There you go. Sit back on your heels. Don't do that. Okay, find that balance. Mid-thigh. All you're gonna do is jump to finish. And go. Okay, above the knee. Mid-thigh. Balance, balance. Stay over, balance. Jump! Yes, again, above the knee. Keep your big toe on the ground. You don't need to drive your knees out in this position. Mid-thigh. Stay over a little bit more. Jump! Above the knee. Mid-thigh. Snatch! Good. I tricked you. But it should be the same thing, right? It's the same movement. Okay, so do I have any questions on that? Neither. Where is that weight trying to pull you? Forward and down. So what do you think instinctually you're going to want to do? Yes, here's the problem with that, is we sit back more than what's being pulled forward. You only sit back as much as you're being pulled forward so that you have balance through your feet. Because if I sit back, this is what we see a lot off the ground. People sit all the way back on their heels because they're like, oh shit, that bar's pulling me forward. So they sit all the way back. Their toes off the ground, they've rocked back to their heels, and then they end up getting rocked forward. And they're shifting here. So when they're jumping, they're like this. And then they're forward or their arms are bent. If I keep pushing straight through the ground and only pull back as much as that weight is pushing me forward, then I get to keep that constant pressure pushing straight through the ground, which will have that bar go straight up. And it won't be this like rocking back and forth. It'll just be straight up and down pressure. Does that make sense?
You're looking at equilibrated forces, but earlier you said when you're holding the position, you feel like you're going to fall over.
Sorry, with your torso position, make it seem like you would be falling over, but the weight distribution and balance makes it so that you're not. Because typically if we're this far forward on something, you'd be falling forward, right? So I got to drive my feet into the ground to establish that balance. Okay, good question. Anything else? Okay, so come up here really quick. So 1, 2, 3 is going to be our snatch portion for the day. So here's how it's going to go. You guys can get in partners or groups of 3, people that you typically lift around the same weights, okay? And we're going to start with high hang snatches. High hang snatches, what you guys were doing right after the BURGENER warm-up, where you just jump into your snatch. These are great for drilling the jump portion. You don't have any momentum that you've built up from the ground. All you have is this. All you have is your leg drive. So how aggressive does your jump need to be? So aggressive, right? So this is going to be lighter. High hang snatches are typically or should be lighter than your snatches from the ground. We're just focusing on jumping freaking hard against the ground. So we'll go 5 sets here. 2 sets of 3, 2 sets of 2, and a single. And you'll move up in weight through the course of those sets. Then we're going to practice proper positioning. So we're going to go from the floor now, and we're going to snatch, deadlift it all the way up to mid-thigh. Pause there for a second check yourself, make sure you're over the bar, make sure you're balanced, make sure you're not sitting like so. Put it down and then snatch. Getting to that mid-thigh position again before you jump. Okay, I love this complex. As someone who jumps too soon in their snatch, this deadlift beforehand is a really good reminder for just how long I have to wait before I jump. And I get to practice that when I snatch. So you guys will just do 3 sets of that. And then we'll take 5 singles, so you'll get to kind of build off of whatever you worked up to here, and take 5 singles to build to a heavy snatch for the day. Maybe that's gonna be a new PR because you're so excited to be here and Rich Froning's watching you, okay? Or maybe it's your 60% because you just wanna work on your form. I don't care, just take 5 singles to do what you want in that snatch, okay? After we finish that, we're gonna go into power clean plus jerk. I love doing a power clean before a clean because it teaches me how to receive the barbell where it is in space. There's so many people who jump the bar up, race to the bottom while the bar is still up here, and then it comes down and it crashes on them, right? We need to meet the bar where it is and write it down in one fluid motion. The heavier that weight gets, the lower and lower that receiving position is going to be, right? But we can practice that receiving of the bar with our power clean first and then our clean. What's the difference between a power clean and a clean? A clean is a missed power clean, exactly. So is our footwork the same? Is our pull the same? Is our speed the same? In the power clean, we just put on the brakes. In the clean, we do not. We let ourselves go down into a squat, okay? Plus jerk. So you'll do 3 working sets. That just means like 3 sets where you feel like it's heavy enough to count. And then you'll go into 5 singles for the clean and jerk. You can drive your knees out and still maintain contact with your big toe. That's called internal torque, right? So I can drive my knees out and still maintain my toe on the ground. It will bring my knees in a little bit, but you getting your knees out of the way could be here. It doesn't have to be all the way back here like this, right? It can be here, just as long as they clear enough to keep a good bar path. But you don't have long enough legs to where that's really gonna be an issue. I have super long legs where getting the knees out of the way is tricky, so I just start with my hips a little bit higher. So if you're still having trouble getting your knees out of the way enough, try bringing your hip start up just a little bit in the beginning, but go back because that was wrong too. Okay, so see how you're sitting all the way out here? You're only loading this part of your leg. So you're only using these muscles. I want you to use your whole entire leg. I want you to use your adductors as well. So get into your start. Good.
So weird. I'm so used to this.
I know. It's just a habit.
Like
I know.
that feels so weird.
Okay, so drive your knees out as much as you can without losing contact here. There. See, you still have your knees out. Okay, but you have your toe on the ground. So that's gonna make it so that you use all of your leg muscles and not just that you're not overloading the outside of your leg, okay? So again, yeah, just start with your hips a little bit higher if you need to, but I'm still balanced on my feet. And then from there, I only get my knees out of the way like here. I'm not all the way back like this. And that's the common misconception, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you're getting the bar to mid-thigh, are you doing that? Do you, like when you're coming up and you got your knees for your jump, when you bring it up, are you bringing it up with your...
You should be here.
Here? Okay.
Right now, shift forward just a little
bit
bit.
more?
Right there.
Are you bringing it up with your...
Back.
Are you taking out, you're not taking any of your bend out? 'Cause
Correct.
You want that for later.
Correct.
So you're going to do this.
Exactly.
And then you're going to still, this is going to stay, and then you're going to go.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you're not getting straight by using your legs yet. You're straightening up with your back.
Well, yes, your legs are straightening by you pushing through the ground. And then when I get from above the knee to mid-thigh, it's a balance between continuing to push
Okay, so a
and
little
my,
bit is okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question. You asked me in the beginning to put my feet
Yes.
a little more close, but I'm having arthritis in my hip, and my hips tends to go out. So how can I? Because I feel it now. I did it because you asked me. I did it to put my feet a little more small. But when I do it, my hips starts to get out a little. How can I compromise that a little so my snatch will be better?
Are you in your start position?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be okay with you going a little bit wider if that. We have to make
This feels like comfortable, and for my squat, it will be like this, like it's wide. Because if I do it like this and put my hip in, you see my hip will start to move out, and it gets out.
Yeah.
Literally.
Okay. Well, then let's go wider.
Yeah. For
Yes.
Sure. Because I thought that might be also the way where I can lift that heavy as well. Because it's the biggest problem for me. So I thought maybe if there's a way to compromise that, but.
I mean, yeah, ideally we would want our feet underneath our hips because that's where we're going to be strongest pushing from. However, you have to lift for your body, right? Whether that's your anatomical makeup or whether that's an injury or whatever, you have to make adjustments for those. So if you physically cannot bring your feet in without your hip going out, then we have to get good at having a wider stance, and that's okay.
That's what I'm gonna do then. 'Cause
Yes.
The warming up with you, I did it because I want to do it correctly. But
Exactly.
It hurted too much.
No, so
okay.
I would rather you be pain-free and make those small adjustments than bring them in and then have you hurting because then you're not going to want to jump hard at all.
No.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Good. It was really good. You just weren't ready for it. Okay, so get ready as soon as it gets overhead. Squat, 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 squat. Stand. You have great mobility, so trust it when you go down into that squat. Squat, sit, 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 and stand. Much better. Your shoelaces are stressing me out so bad right now. Okay. So for high hang, start just standing, and all you get is a down and up. Good. Did you hit and go, or did you jump? You hit and go. Jump. Again, I don't want to see your arms move in the beginning. Jump. Better. Yes, exactly. Arms straight. Don't let them move. Yes. That's what it needs to be. We're not generating speed from this. We're generating speed only from the waist down. First it's the legs, and then it's the arms coming into play. Good. Jump more. Better. Jump to finish. Give me a little bit more at the top. More. You have great speed under the bar. Don't rely on that. Get up to get down. Yes, that was better. Now it's going to fly up there when you do that, so be ready for it. Yes, good job. Very good. Okay, don't pause in your dip. Okay, just down and up. Better. I need more foot movement, okay? So when you're coming down, you're really driving your knees out and you're losing connection with your feet, okay? Not forward, you're just lifting that toe off the ground. So just down and up, just jump and shrug. Better. Why is your right foot lifting like that? Is that like a normal thing? Are you injured?
No.
Okay, so then move your right foot out a little bit more when you land. Even more. I want to hear your feet hit the ground. much better. Do it again. Yes. So what is our landing position supposed to create? Stability. So if I'm like this, what's my stability going to be like? And when you didn't hear your feet, that's when that right foot got lazy. When you heard your feet, you were way more intentional with your footwork and you had way more stability in that positioning. Okay? Good job. Yeah. Good. Okay, right now, your jump, you can set it down for a second. Your jump and your elevation on the barbell, beautiful. But then you're catching that bar overhead. So this is really lazy because that's lightweight for you. So I want you to almost do less here so that you can be more connected to the weight and then stronger in your overhead position.
Is it my right or my left?
It's both. They're soft right now, okay? So much better. You met the bar where it was. Good, again, meet it. Yes, because if you start having soft elbows with 135, was that 135? What do you think is gonna happen when you get heavier? Your body's like, hey, we've been doing this since the beginning, so I'm not gonna change that. No, we need to set the tone early so that with the heavier weights, my body shows up for me, okay? How's it going, guys?
It's an adventure.
It is an adventure. Olympic weightlifting is such an adventure. Like a 30-year adventure. Okay, so I want you to not come forward. I just want you to jump and shrug. So keep that torso upright and jump the bar up. Jump it up. Yes, better. Fight to keep that torso a little more upright in your receiving position. Chest up. Woo!
Over the top.
So your chest was way vertical. That was what I wanted you to do. So that was great.
So fast.
Yes. So I want you to be ready for it. Overhead. You're putting yourself into position with your arms.
Okay.
Right? So your legs get the bar moving up, and then my arms are what put me into position. So if I lose it like this, it's because my arms aren't doing their job. Use your arms at the right time after you've jumped and to put yourself where you want to go. Where do you want to go? To your overhead squat. Okay, put yourself there. Jump. So much better. So much better. Good job. Okay, well, you have to do another one now that I'm watching.
Okay. Just for you.
Thank you. Good. Let's move your grip out a little bit. You have really good mobility, so you don't actually need to, but I think for lifting maximal weight, I think a little bit wider grip will be good for you.
Wider?
Yes. A tiny bit more. Let's get crazy.
That day is gonna be nuts.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. That's where your hands are gonna go from now on.
Okay.
Okay? Give me a little bit more foot movement next time. Okay. Right now you're kind of just bringing your feet up and putting them back down again. I think if you went a little bit wider, you'll be able to sit more comfortably down in your squat. Okay? Okay, so here you came down like this, hip thrust forward, jump forward. So I just want a slight dip and straight up. Jump. That was better. Good. Jump the bar up. Jump it up. Yes. Much better. On the next one, I want you to try to get a little bit more shrug around the bar. So right now you're kind of coming straight up and straight down. So the bar is a little bit forward. You have to get out of the way of the bar so it can come up and then back over your hips, or else it's going to be like this. See how it's a little bit out in front of me? I got to get up, out of the way, and then under that barbell, okay? If you guys haven't moved on to the next complex, go ahead and do so. I want you to start with your hips a little bit higher. Okay, so when you are in your start position, your hip crease is pretty low. I want you to be your hip crease should be slightly above your knee. That's gonna set your back angle to be able to stay consistent all the way up to mid-thigh, okay?
Yep. Sam told me that if you snatch over 300,
Yeah.
bending the arms is okay.
Oh, okay. So have you snatched over 300?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to start with your hips a tiny bit higher, and then I need you to be stronger in your overhead position. Right now, you're just holding that weight. Okay, I need to see you reaching and fighting for that position. Okay, do just a snatch.
Punch.
And then start with your hips a tiny bit higher. Eyes straight ahead. Reach, reach, reach. Good. Okay, that was like a centimeter too high. So I want to go somewhere in between now, because I want to see this, right? So shoulders are above my hips, but hips are above my knees. I don't want to see my hips below my knees, and I don't want to see my shoulders below my hips. Kind of like that greater than, less than symbol is what I'm looking for, okay? So just pause there for a second, and then I'll tell you if it's where I want it to be. Come down a little bit. Right there, squeeze here, and go. Yes. Tight, 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 tight. Stand. Good. What gets that bar moving off the ground? Leg drive. You're squatting up. So on that one was great, but on the first two, the first thing that happened was this, which tells me what?
No, leg drive.
Exactly. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
You want the 10 off? Yeah, you want the 10.
Well, those are snazzy shoes. Are those new Nikes?
I don't know.
I haven't seen those ones.
I've had these for a little bit.
I just wear Vans, so.
We'll see what happens. What are we up to? We doing the deadlift and then snatch.
Good. Okay. You have insane mobility for a tall, big guy. That's really good. And so you got away with having a narrower hand position, but it doesn't need to be that narrow. I would take you wider, because when you're going to jump, because your grip is so narrow, you're not even close to your hip crease and making contact. So a little bit wider grip will make that contact point a little bit better for you. And that contact is important because that's where the energy transfers from your body into the bar. So if I don't have that good contact point, I can't take all of that good jump and put it into the barbell. Does that make sense? So do just a snatch and move your grip out for me, and let me see what it looks like. Where were you before? Okay, so go, yeah. Now be ready for it overhead, okay?
Try to do the same, like tap at the
Just snatch. Hell yeah. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Wider.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So you're gonna go here every time.
Okay.
Okay. So about an inch from that second line.
Okay.
Okay. Good job, guys. Okay. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Okay. So first off, I want you to keep your eyes straight ahead the whole time. If your eyes are all over the place, what do you think that's going to do for your balance? Your balance is going to be all over, right? The second thing that I want you to think about is the tempo and the timing of the movement. Where do you think the fastest part of the lift should be?
middle.
Yes. So if I go really fast off of the ground, I have to go even faster through the middle. You went fast off the ground and then a little bit slower through the middle and then even slower at the end. I need to be the opposite. Go fast, faster, fastest at the end. Okay, try it. Just a snatch. Don't worry about the deadlift. Eyes straight ahead, tempo and timing. That was way better. Way better. Now the only thing you need to do is jump to finish. So you jump to here. Okay, and because you jumped to here, you never made contact with your hips. But if you wait to mid-thigh and you jump to finish, where I have this nice proud chest at the top of my jump, you'll make that contact happen. And you'll get the shrug around the barbell at the top. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's see it, sister. I have no idea where we're at for time. So, can you help me? Just snatch? Okay. Start snatching, you guys. Just the snatch. Okay. Mechanically, I really like that lift, okay? The positions off the ground were great. Your extension was great. Your pull under was beautiful. You were fighting in that overhead position. What do you think is the one? Why? How did your feet sound?
They weren't.
They
very
didn't.
gentle.
They didn't sound,
Yeah.
right? So I want to hear that like boom, boom. I want to hear that contact, and then I want to hear that stability being created with your footwork. Okay, try it again. Don't like fiddle fart around. Just don't fiddle fart around. Get your hand set and get after it. Get your hand set, footwork. Boom. Okay, so that happens where sometimes we're so focused on our feet and on our legs that we forget we have arms. Okay, you also have arms that need to come into play after your legs have done their job. Okay, so I jump, I land, and then I put myself where I want to go. Where are you going to? The overhead squat. Okay, so rest for a second. Good job, girl. Okay, let's see it. You look so excited to do this snatch right now. Your enthusiasm is electric. Good. Okay, I want you to go land in a squat though.
Okay.
So with where your feet went to, do you think you could have gone down into a squat? Would it have looked good? No. Okay, so you were way out here. When I'm out here, it means that I've tried to pull the bar up. Okay, so if my feet go wide, it's generally because I jumped the bar up and then I tried to pull it higher. And that's why I land with wide feet. I want it to be a jump up and then you're pulling yourself down into your overhead squat. Okay? Let's do it. You're like, it makes sense in theory, but we'll see. Jump up, pull down. Better. So much better. Now keep fighting with that overhead positioning, okay? Because it was really good, 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 and then you got a little bit soft, and so that bar started to come forward slightly. Keep fighting, fighting, fighting through that upper back, okay? So that was your standard. Good, 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 good. I don't trust my legs, so I'm gonna start pulling. You didn't need to. You didn't need to start pulling with your arms. Your position was so good. So you have to trust your jump, okay? Squeeze your upper back as hard as you can. Squeeze it so hard that your arms don't even want to come into the picture. And squeeze it all the way till you get to mid-thigh, and then what's the one word you're gonna think about? Jump, like heck, okay? Do it, come on. Squeeze, jump. Oh my gosh, that was so much better. Did it feel better? Good job, good job. Squeeze your upper back, that a girl, and then bring your hips up just right there. Eyes up here, good. Nice, good. Okay, so that was a beautiful snatch. Now I want an aggressive, beautiful snatch, okay? Because you were very graceful, but I need to have a little bit of attitude with it too. Keep everything else the same and just give me some attitude, okay? Come on. Squeeze strong. Oh my gosh, yes. Now, when you give me attitude like that, what's gonna happen to that bar? Yes, it's gonna fly up there and you're like, oh my gosh, right? So be ready for it. Expect it to feel that way. Don't be surprised when it feels that way, okay? Good job. All right, sister, let's see it. I've loved your mobility this whole time.
I do tend to, I don't know.
Don't coach yourself, let me coach you. Okay, so I want you to move your feet out just a little bit, because right now what's happening is you're coming here and then you're sweeping back and then you're going, okay? I need constant pressure straight into the ground. So if you widen your stance just a little bit, I think you're gonna feel like you can more naturally get your knees out of the way. Usually when we're narrow, we're like, oh man, my knees are still there. So we slide them back and then we go. So just a tiny bit wider start and then squat up. Keep pushing through the ground. Little wider, you're sliding them in. Yep, and then bring just your toes out. Just your toes. Yes, there.
That's different.
I know. Squat up. Yes, better. Much better, okay? Now the last correction that I would make is I want you to crank your elbows up and back, okay? Because right now you're jumping and you're just like, you're here. It's like 80% effort. I need a boom, like cruise those elbows hard, okay? Squat up, crank the elbows. Squat up, crank. Okay, so that was so much better with the elbows, but you lost your legs just a little bit off the ground. Did you feel it?
I was worried about this.
I know. First the legs and then the arms, okay? Yep. Okay, let's see it. Good. Okay, very good speed through the middle, but I need to see your elbows come high and outside a little bit more because they came a little flat and the bar was in front of you, and so you jumped forward to chase it. You got to keep those elbows up so that your hips stay up. Okay, let's try it again. Use your legs as your power source. Jump elbows. Yes. And it's gonna fly up there, right? Because it was way more efficient of a bar path. Instead of going forward, everything went up. So be ready, because that whipped overhead. That was awesome. Yeah, of course. Okay, so where are you generating power from? Okay, so where should you be generating power from? Yes, the ground with your legs, okay? Where you are generating power from is that hitch. So you have a really bad what we call hitch, where you come up, you bang, and then you go. So the best way to get rid of that is by doing high hang snatches over and over and over again, because you need to feel the act of jumping and not the act of hitting off of your legs. Another drill that you can do is doing that deadlift to mid-thigh, and then you pause, and then you just jump and shrug. So you're getting used to this being the power source as opposed to coming like this, coming back down, and then hitting it off your legs. It's too hard to try with this heavy of weight, because that's a very, very established habit that takes months to break. So it's just that you just need to keep your arms straight and you need to jump. Get to mid-thigh, keep the arms straight, jump. And down. I wish we had video. Does anyone have phone or something?
Yeah.
Can you do it one more time? Because I want to show you what you're doing.
That's not a good idea. I might have 2 5s.
Come around this way, like a 45-degree angle. Okay, can I borrow that? Okay. Okay, so first and foremost, you need to set your eyes straight ahead, okay? Now, here's your mid-thigh position. Yep, and then watch how they re-straighten. So that's you doing this. Right, so you're coming here and you're hitting it off of your legs to generate power. So watch this. Hit and go, okay? As opposed to, see when your arm, so if your arms were straight, look what happens from here. You jumped. You're doing it right. You're just not trusting this position. So all you need to do is literally deadlift the bar up to this position and jump. Because you're jumping. Look at that. That's a great jump. That's a great extension. But you're hitting to extension rather than just deadlifting to jump.
I don't know why I started doing it. It's like it just started doing it.
It's so what I always say is that pitchers have the best intentions, because you're trying to be aggressive. You're trying to speed it up through the middle. You're just doing it in the wrong way. You're doing it by hitting instead of jumping. So at least your intentions are pure. Come on. Oh, nice. You have such good speed underneath the barbell. That is a very good asset to have. So the only thing you ever have to tell yourself, especially once it starts getting heavier and heavier, is jump more, right? So don't be dependent on your speed underneath the bar, because that's gonna trap you into not elevating the bar as much, as to not jump as hard against the ground. Because you're like, I don't need to elevate the bar very high. I have speed underneath it. But that's gonna stall you from being able to snatch more weight.
Is that why sometimes I get spit out the back?
Yes, because you don't have time anymore. It's heavier now. We need more elevation on the bar.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Ooh, good elbows.
Scared me.
Don't be scared. Okay, so with that, the clean was beautiful, okay? With the jerk, your back leg moved more than your front leg. So you did more of this throw the back leg back. So now it's straight, and now my front leg barely moved. So now I'm in this position. I gotta reach with that front foot, and then I gotta bend the back leg slightly.
The front more than the back.
Yes, because now I'll be directly underneath the bar with that soft back leg, as opposed to short front leg, long back leg. Now I'm tilted forward because my back leg is too straight. So reach and then bend that back knee. Yes. Just think jump, step through. Yes. Step through. Don't step forward, step through with the front foot, okay? Don't jump forward. You reach forward, and then you want to have a soft back leg. Yes, I don't want it to be too straight. Oh, good. Tight. Good. I want you, your right arm was a little bit soft on that one, okay? I want you to take your time with your breathing and bracing though on the jerk. That's very typical, where we clean it and then we're kind of like breathing as we're dipping. It needs to breathe, go. Because when I breathe and set, the bar will settle and then I can dip and drive. But if I'm breathing and bracing and going, there's so much movement on the bar, it's gonna pull you out of position, or it's gonna ruin your timing of your dip and drive. Okay, so do one more. Good. Breathe and brace. Oh, yes. Much better. Much, much better. Good job. Okay, keep your arms long. Okay, right now you're coming here and you're pulling it into your hips. Keep your arms long and stay over just a little bit more. Okay, come on. Move your grip out. Yeah, yep. Stay over, arms long. Well, now release your hook grip. Release your hook grip and then get your elbows up, but put it down. That was so much better keeping your arms long. Now release your hook grip. Do it again. Where did that bar go? Where did that bar go? Yes, so you came here and you gave me a reverse curl. Elbows high and outside, okay?
Oh, no.
Stay over, stay over. Better, better. Reset, good. Tight. Oh, snap. That was a beautiful jerk. That footwork was phenomenal. The dip and drive was phenomenal, okay? Now we just got to keep that bar closer in the clean and you're dialed, okay? Good job. Let's move your grip out just a little bit on your clean and jerk, because you're really narrow with that barbell overhead. So I want you to go like here. And let me see what that looks like. Up. Good. Okay. First of all, I love your nails. Okay, those are super important. Second of all, you dipped, elbows dropped, and then you went. So when I'm dipping and driving, my elbows are glued in this position. through the dip, through the drive, and then I can start punching. But I can't dip and then try to press at the bottom of my dip. The legs initiate the movement, whether you're snatching, whether you're cleaning, whether you're jerking. People think that just because we're doing a jerk and the bar's on my shoulder, that it's an upper body exercise. It is not. All the power needs to come from your legs. And the only way you can do that is if you keep the arms out of it through the dip and drive. Okay? So relax your hands a little bit in that position. Go. Okay, relax your hands, jump the bar up. Yes, so much better. Oh my gosh, I love when people listen to me. It's so nice.
Can I bring you home?
Yes, put me in your pocket. Good, good. I want you to squat though, squat. Receive it. What's that?
Complex start with
Oh, are you on the, okay, sorry. I didn't know you were on the complex.
Now I'm going to squat.
Okay. Good. Good. Get your air. That's okay. All right. So in this rack position, your hands and arms are a little too tight. Okay, so when you're dipping, you're so loaded and tense through your upper body that you're losing connection with the bar. And then you're having to literally press that barbell up over your head. So I want you to relax your hands a little bit so that you can feel the bar resting on your body, right? So it should be here. It shouldn't be through here that I feel tension. I feel tension here. And then that way when I go to jump, you have more elevation, which is gonna give you more time to get your footwork squared away. Because right now, you didn't have a lot of elevation. So your feet only had time to get here. They didn't have time to fully get that depth to where you could punch underneath it and receive it. So just relax your hands and let that bar move with you as opposed to trying to press it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, same thing.
I fucked it up.
You're like, God damn it. Well, now you're gonna be able to feel it when you do it wrong.
Did you like that turnaround? You have to edit that out though. That's a...
I fucked that up. Fuck that up. That's so funny. Nice. Let me hear your feet. Woo! Good girl. I loved that. Absolutely loved it. The only small change that I would make is that on your jerk, it was a little bit of going around your face. Okay, get out of the way of that barbell so it can move straight up over your head. Okay? Is that your thing? Okay, I did not love that. Okay, so I have a rule at my dad's gym. Every person that he tells to move their grip out on the clean owes me $10.
Okay.
Okay, that's like his favorite correction in the clean is move your hands out. So you were so close. I only saw the jerk, I didn't see the clean. But you were so close on that jerk that you don't have any like room to physically get that barbell back over your head. So slide your hands out a little bit so that you have a nice open chest, open space for that bar to travel to.
Okay.
Okay?
And that's for just the jerk or the clean?
Both.
Too? Okay.
Both.
Okay.
Yep. But sometimes when you clean, your hand slides in, so you
Right.
got to make sure you re-pop them out.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
What time? At 25.
25 minutes time?
No, you just go with the 120.
Yeah. 25 times 10.
Come on, drive it. Tight, tight, tight. Good. Good punch under. That commitment to punching down was beautiful. I just need a little bit more jump to initiate it, okay? Yes, little more drive. Okay, come on. Go. Good. Get your air. Oh, I love that. That was beautiful. Yep. Yep, exactly. Start to finish, that was beautiful. Good job. Move your grip out. That's okay. I loved everything about that minus the grip. Yes. Yeah. I like that. Okay. I totally have been ignoring you over here. I'm sorry. Sorry I've been ignoring you. What? Okay. Do it again. Don't pull with your arms too soon. Now that I know you can do it. Now that I know you can keep your arms straight. Okay, so I want you to start with your hands here. Okay, you're too close. Move your grip out and then stay over that bar a little bit more. You're coming here and you're opening up, so you're bending. Stay over a second longer. Come on. Elbows up. Okay. Try to have your eyes forward because I think that's going to help you set your upper back a little bit more. If your eyes are down, sometimes we get a little bit lazy and our shoulders round forward, and then that's why we end up pulling with our arms. So eyes up, set your lats, and then go. Okay? Let's go. Up, 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 up. You're gonna have to drive it hard. Tight, hold it. Down. That was so ballsy. That was really good. Really good. Way to keep fighting that whole time, because that's hard to do. That was awesome.
I had the pressure of this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Waiting the whole time.
Yep.
I just watched your split jerk, your 5 points performance on the split jerk.
Oh,
So good.
was it helpful?
So good.
Yeah, your jerk is really good. Really good.
Split jerk.
What? I know.
I'm like, so it was very good.
Good. I'm so glad. I know it gives people that like
Over and over again.
checklist, right? So we can kind of self-correct a little bit. So good. I'm glad. All right, let's go. Last couple sets, you guys. Go. Good. Jump it up. Oh man, slightly wider grip and you would have had that. Because you're narrow so it can't get back, so it's just a little bit out in front. Open up those hands slightly, okay? Up, up, up. Good girl. Good. Take your time a little bit in between the clean and the jerk, because I want you to get set a little bit more. Everything looks good mechanically, but you're kind of like moving and like not really establishing that really good rack position, and then go. You know what I mean?
Well, you just watch my PR as well.
There is no way that's your PR. You are so much stronger than that. And I really like that you're keeping your form. So if this is your PR, that tells me that you've been keeping the weight a little bit lighter and working form, and it has paid off. Yeah, it has totally paid off because your form is really, really good. Trust yourself. You can start adding a little bit more because your mechanics are very, very good. Okay? Let's go, come on. Go. Get your air. Nice. Good job. Are you going again? Okay. In a second. Let's go, girl. Come on. Get after it. Go. Oh, nice. Come on, drive it straight up. Hold it. Yeah. Good commitment. That was a great commitment to getting that front foot through. What? Good girl. Way to go. Awesome. Yeah, Joy, come on. Ah, shoot. You know what though? That effort was there. Your effort was fully there. So that's just a footwork position, right? So your feet only got this wide or this long, which means you didn't have a lot of depth underneath that bar. When it gets heavier, I gotta get my butt down. And in the jerk, that comes from a longer stance. This is how I get the depth, okay? So you gotta trust that footwork. You gotta drill that footwork. On that one? Well, that'll do it. That'll stop the bar from going up. Oh, nice try, dude. Yeah, hang on. Let me just wrap up and then we'll do pictures. All right, guys, bring it in just really quick. Let's do a little debrief. I literally, totally ignored you guys the whole entire time. You're not allowed to hide back here. Yes, go. Come on. Go. Go, 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 go. Drive it. Good. Great lockout. I would like to see a little bit more bend in that back leg. You're a little bit straight here, so a slight bend will get you underneath that bar a little bit more, but that lockout was beautiful. Good job. Are you, okay, you're about to PR, right? All right, let's see it. Come on. Let's go. Let's help her out, guys. Fire it up. Go!
Fast feet.
Commit to it. Commit. Hold it. Woo! Awesome job. Wow.
Heck yeah.
That's exciting. Good job. All right, guys, bring it in really quick. Bring it in. You guys can finish putting the weights away in a second. Okay, you guys did awesome. So that's a lot of information to try to take in and adjust things on the fly. These are all things that take a lot of time. Practicing and practicing and practicing to try and rewire your brain and rewire those movement patterns, right? It's so easy to get stuck in Olympic weightlifting just doing the same thing over and over. because it's comfortable for us. So I'm challenging you guys to try and work your positions. Break down the movements as much as possible into as small of segments as possible. That's what's going to make your lift better as a whole. So drill the fundamentals, drill the stance, drill the grip, drill that overhead positioning, those positions off the ground. Do the Burgener warm-up every single day, and I promise you, if you work that, you will improve your lifts as a whole. Okay? Thank you guys so much for coming and learning. I really appreciate it. You guys were awesome. Okay? Good job.